11. I counted 11 floors of complete silence.
11 floors. In an elevator, with an actual human being standing right next to you.
An actual human being who I said one sentence to, and then nothing, for 11 entire floors.
What was the sentence?
Nice weather today.
Devastating opener.
I know, and the second it left my mouth, I felt it just die in the air between us.
Did he respond at all?
He said yeah, and then looked at the floor numbers like they were the most fascinating thing he'd ever seen in his life.
So, you both just stood there.
Both of us, staring at those little glowing numbers, counting down our own personal torture together.
That elevator ride probably lasted 90 seconds.
It felt like a full geological era. Maria.
Why does small talk feel so impossible sometimes, especially in a second language?
Because we treat it like a test with a right answer instead of what it actually is.
Which is what?
A rhythm. Small talk isn't about saying something clever. It's about keeping a little ball bouncing back and forth so nobody has to stand there in silence, counting floor numbers.
A ball bouncing back and forth.
Exactly. That's basically the whole idea behind something I now call the bounce back method. But let me show you exactly what went wrong that day first.
Go on.
That elevator ride failed because I hit the ball once and just let it drop. I said my line and stopped instead of bouncing something back to him.
So, what would bouncing it back have looked like?
Something like, nice weather today. Are you doing anything outside this weekend? One small question keeps the ball moving.
That's such a small change with a huge effect.
It really is. And that's exactly what I started calling the bounce back method, because that's precisely what good small talk feels like. A ball that never quite touches the ground, moving gently between two people until it's someone's turn to leave.
So today, we're talking about small talk in English for daily life. The tiny conversations with neighbors, coworkers, cashiers, and yes, elevator strangers that somehow feel harder than actual deep conversations, even though they're supposed to be the easy part.
If small talk has ever made you want to disappear into an elevator floor, welcome. You're exactly where you need to be.
Welcome back to Speak Unstoppable. I'm Maria.
And I'm John, still recovering from 11 floors of silence.
Today, we're talking about small talk in English for daily life. The short, casual conversations that somehow feel harder than deep ones.
With neighbors, coworkers, cashiers, hairdressers, anyone you see for 30 seconds and need something to say to.
And today, we fix that using the bounce back method. Keeping a conversation moving without needing anything clever to say.
We've also got our word tour, 6 power words for everyday small talk, and rewrite it, turning awkward silences into easy exchanges.
So, John, be honest. After that elevator disaster, did you actually get better at this?
Slowly, and only after I broke a myth I'd been believing for years.
Which myth?
That small talk needs to be interesting.
It doesn't?
Not even a little. I used to sit there panicking, trying to think of something witty or impressive to say.
The pressure to be entertaining.
Exactly. And that pressure is exactly what freezes people up.
So what's small talk actually for, if not being interesting?
It's for signaling something much simpler. I'm friendly. I'm approachable. This moment is comfortable, not awkward.
That's a completely different goal than say something clever.
Completely different. And honestly, much easier to reach.
So my elevator line wasn't actually bad.
Your line was fine. Nice weather today does its job perfectly well.
Then what went wrong?
The problem wasn't the line, it was that I stopped after saying it. I hit the ball and never gave it anywhere to land.
So even a boring, ordinary sentence works, as long as it keeps moving.
Exactly. Boring is fine in small talk. Boring is actually the whole point. It's low pressure by design.
That takes so much weight off. I always felt like I needed a strong opening line.
Nobody remembers your opening line. They remember whether the conversation felt easy or painful.
That's such a relief, honestly, because I've spent years overthinking my first sentence.
Most people do. We treat the opening line like it's the hardest part, but it's actually the easiest part, because almost any neutral observation works.
Weather, traffic, the line at the coffee shop.
Exactly those. They're neutral, safe, and everyone can relate to them instantly.
So the real skill isn't the opening at all.
Right, the real skill is everything that happens after it, keeping the exchange alive for a few more turns instead of letting it die on the first bounce.
That's the part that actually terrified me.
It terrifies most people, because nobody ever teaches it directly. We just get told make small talk without any instructions for what comes next.
Can I confess my version of this? Mine happened at the hairdresser's.
A classic small talk battlefield.
Absolutely a battlefield. She asked, "Any plans for the weekend?" And my brain just went completely blank.
What did you say?
Not really, just relaxing. And then silence for the entire rest of the haircut.
How long was the haircut?
45 minutes. John, 45 minutes of two people staring at a mirror, not talking, while she cut my hair.
That sounds worse than the elevator, honestly.
It might have been worse. At least the elevator ended in 90 seconds.
So what went wrong there?
Exactly what you described. I answered and stopped. I gave her nothing to bounce off of.
You could have asked her the same question back.
I could have, but in the moment it genuinely didn't occur to me. My brain was too busy being embarrassed about the silence to think of a solution for it.
That happens so often, the awkwardness itself becomes the distraction.
Completely. I was so focused on how uncomfortable it felt that I couldn't think clearly enough to fix it.
So the real problem wasn't a lack of English words.
No, I knew the words. I just didn't have a system for what to do with them in the moment.
That's such an important distinction. It's not a vocabulary problem, it's a structure problem.
Exactly. And once I realized that, the whole thing felt less like an English failure and more like a missing habit.
A habit you could actually build.
Right. Unlike vocabulary, which takes years, this felt like something I could practice within a single week.
So what would that haircut have looked like with a habit in place?
Probably something like, "Not really. Just relaxing. How about you? Any plans?" One tiny addition. And suddenly, it's her turn to talk.
And the silence never happens.
The silence never gets the chance to happen because the ball's already moving again before it can land.
So let's reframe small talk properly. What is it actually, structurally, if it's not about being interesting?
It's a very simple exchange, a comment, a question back, a short answer, and then either it continues or it naturally ends.
That sounds almost mechanical.
It kind of is, and that's actually a good thing, because mechanical things are learnable. You don't need creativity, you need a pattern.
A pattern instead of inspiration.
Exactly. Inspiration is unreliable, especially in a second language, under pressure, in the moment. Patterns don't disappear when you're nervous.
So instead of hoping the right words appear, you just follow a shape.
Right. Comment, question, answer, question back. That shape works in almost any small talk situation with almost anyone.
Give me an example of the shape in action.
This coffee shop is always busy. That's the comment.
It really is. Do you come here often? That's the question.
Sometimes, mostly on weekends. That's the answer.
Same. I love their weekend pastries. And the loop continues.
Nobody in that exchange said anything remotely clever.
Not one clever word, and it still worked perfectly, because clever was never the requirement.
So if I ever get stuck mid-conversation, I can just fall back on the shape.
Exactly. Comment, question, answer, question back. You can basically run it on autopilot once it's familiar.
Does the pattern ever get boring for the other person, though?
Rarely, because small talk isn't judged on originality, it's judged on flow. A predictable, comfortable rhythm feels good to be part of.
Like a familiar song instead of something experimental.
That's a great way to put it. Nobody wants experimental jazz at a bus stop. They want something easy to follow.
So predictability is actually a feature here, not a flaw.
A huge feature. The goal was never to impress anyone, it was always just to keep the ball gently moving until the moment naturally ends.
Okay, let's actually build the bounce back method properly, step by step.
Fair. Step 1.
Step 1. Make a neutral comment. Weather, environment, a shared situation, something completely safe.
Like this line is so long today.
Perfect example. Safe, relatable, zero risk.
Step 2.
Step 2. Add a tiny question onto the end, even a small one. This line is so long today. Do you usually come at this time?
So the comment and question travel together as one move.
Exactly. That's the actual bounce. Comment alone dies quickly. Comment plus question keeps it alive.
Step 3.
Step 3. When they answer, respond briefly, then bounce it back again with your own small addition.
Give me an example.
They say, yeah, mornings are usually calmer. You say, oh, I'll have to try mornings then. I always end up here at the worst time.
That's not even a question, but it still keeps the exchange open.
Right. Step 3 doesn't always need a direct question. Sometimes a relatable comment does the same job.
Step 4, I'm guessing, is knowing when to stop.
Exactly step 4. Small talk has a natural lifespan, usually 3 or 4 exchanges. You're not trying to become best friends in a checkout line.
How do you know when to end it gracefully?
Usually, the situation tells you the line moves, the elevator arrives, the haircut finishes. You just close with something warm and simple.
Like what?
Have a good one, or enjoy your weekend works almost every time. It closes the loop without any awkward drop-off.
So the whole method is comment plus question, respond and bounce, repeat a couple times, then a warm exit line.
That's the entire method. 4 small moves, and none of them require being witty or interesting.
If I'd known this before the hairdresser, that haircut would have been completely different.
It really would have. Instead of 45 minutes of silence, probably 2 or 3 easy little bounces, then a comfortable quiet. Which is honestly fine too.
Okay, let me push back a little. Because I think some people are listening and thinking, Doesn't following a formula make small talk feel fake and forced?
That's a completely fair worry, and I felt it too, at first.
Like you're running a script instead of actually connecting with someone.
Right, but here's the thing. Native speakers already run a version of this script constantly. They just don't notice it because it's automatic for them.
So the formula isn't replacing authenticity, it's replacing hesitation.
Exactly. The awkward silence in my elevator wasn't more authentic than a smooth bounce back. It was just less practiced.
That reframes it completely. The goal was never fake versus real, it was stuck versus flowing.
Right, and once the structure becomes automatic, it stops feeling like a script and starts feeling like ease.
Kind of like how grammar rules feel rigid at first, but eventually just become how you naturally speak.
Exactly that comparison. Nobody thinks about subject-verb agreement anymore once it's internalized. And eventually, nobody thinks about the bounce either.
Can I add one more worry people probably have?
Go ahead.
What if I try the bounce, and the other person just doesn't bounce back?
That happens sometimes, and it's genuinely okay. Some people are tired, distracted, or just private.
So it's not always a reflection of my English or my effort.
Almost never. If someone gives a one-word answer and doesn't ask anything back, that's information about them, not a grade on your performance.
That's reassuring. Because I used to take those flat responses very personally.
Most people do. But a flat response just means the small talk ends a little early, not that you did anything wrong.
So the method isn't a guarantee. It's just a much better starting point than freezing.
Exactly that. It doesn't control the other person's side, it just makes sure your side isn't the reason the conversation dies.
So let's go back one final time to that elevator, 11 floors of silence.
Please, take me back to my personal nightmare.
If you'd use the bounce back method right there, what would those 11 floors have sounded like instead?
Probably something like, nice weather today. Are you heading out for the weekend? Small, easy. Nothing clever required.
And he might have said something back.
He probably would have. Even just running errands, you. And suddenly we're not staring at floor numbers anymore. We're actually talking.
That's the whole shift today, isn't it? Small talk was never about being interesting.
It's about keeping a simple ball bouncing gently. Comment. Question. Answer. Question back until it's naturally time to stop.
Neighbors, coworkers, cashiers, hairdressers, elevator strangers.
All of them. The exact same shape works everywhere.
And if the silence happens anyway sometimes?
Then it happens. And that's fine too. Not every small talk attempt needs to succeed perfectly.
But at least now there's a method waiting, instead of just panic and floor numbers.
Exactly. Next elevator ride, I've got a plan. And honestly, that alone takes most of the fear out of it.
It's strange how much calmer a formula can make you feel.
It really is. Knowing you have something to fall back on turns panic into just following a familiar shape.
No more counting floor numbers in silence.
No more counting floor numbers, unless I genuinely just want to. Which, honestly, might still happen sometimes.
Old habits.
Old habits, but at least now there's a choice involved instead of a freeze.
Now let's slow down and practice today's power words. Words that help you talk about small talk, everyday conversation, and keeping things easy and light. Our first word is neutral.
Neutral. Neutral.
Neutral means not favoring any side, safe, and unlikely to cause disagreement or discomfort.
In conversation, you might say, I always keep small talk neutral. Weather, food, nothing controversial.
And in writing, you could say, choosing a neutral topic makes strangers feel instantly comfortable.
This word is basically the safety rule of small talk, the one thing to check before you say anything to a stranger.
Right. If you're ever unsure what to say, ask yourself if it's neutral. And if it is, it's probably a safe choice. Our next word is exchange.
Exchange? Exchange?
Exchange means a short trade of words, comments, or questions between two people.
You might say, we had a quick exchange about the weather before the meeting started.
Or in writing, a friendly exchange with a neighbor can brighten your whole morning.
This word captures small talk perfectly. It's small, it's mutual, and it's brief.
Exactly. Exchange implies both people give something, not just one person talking at another, which is exactly what went wrong in that hairdresser story. Our next word is approachable.
Approachable. Approachable.
Approachable means easy to talk to, friendly, and open, rather than distant or intimidating.
You could say, smiling first makes you seem more approachable to strangers.
Or in writing, an approachable tone puts people at ease during small talk.
This word explains the real goal behind small talk, more than any other word today.
Right, you're not trying to impress anyone, you're just trying to seem approachable and warm, which is a much easier target to hit. Our next word is awkward.
Awkward. Awkward.
Awkward means uncomfortable, clumsy, or slightly embarrassing, especially in a social moment.
You might say, that silence in the elevator was genuinely awkward for both of us.
Or in writing, awkward pauses are completely normal, even for native speakers.
This word gives permission for the exact feeling we started today's episode with. 11 floors of it.
It does. Awkward moments happen to everyone, in every language, constantly, and admitting that out loud takes away half the sting. Our next word is spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Spontaneous.
Spontaneous means happening naturally in the moment without planning it ahead of time.
You could say, our conversation turned spontaneous once we both relaxed a little.
Or in writing, the best small talk often feels spontaneous, even when it follows a familiar shape.
This word reminds us the method isn't meant to feel robotic, even though it follows a shape.
Right, it just gives spontaneity a safe structure to happen inside of, instead of leaving it entirely up to chance. Our final word is graceful.
Graceful. Graceful.
Graceful means smooth, elegant, and comfortable, especially when ending or handling a tricky moment.
You might say, I finally learned how to make a graceful exit from small talk.
Or in writing, a graceful ending leaves both people feeling good about the exchange.
This connects straight to step 4 of the method, closing things warmly instead of just walking away mid-sentence.
Exactly. A graceful exit matters just as much as a smooth opening, maybe even more. Those were today's power words: neutral, exchange, approachable, awkward, spontaneous, and graceful. Try using at least one of them the next time small talk happens to you this week, even in a short message to a friend describing your day.
So later, when you have a quiet moment, come back to this part and read it slowly, or even say it out loud. This is our Rewrite It segment, where we take frozen, awkward sentences and turn them into calmer, more natural small talk, one honest phrase at a time.
First sentence: I never know what to say to strangers, so I just stay quiet.
Let's rewrite that. I keep things neutral, And that's usually enough to start a comfortable exchange.
Much better, and notice it removes the pressure to say anything impressive at all. Second sentence. I said one thing and then the whole conversation just died.
Rewrite. I try to bounce a question back so the exchange doesn't stop after one line.
That already sounds like someone with a plan instead of someone caught off guard. Third sentence. I'm not a naturally approachable person. People just find me hard to talk to.
Rewrite. A small smile and a neutral comment make me feel more approachable right away.
That one turns identity into action, something you can actually do today. Fourth sentence. The silence was so awkward, I just wanted to disappear.
Rewrite. That pause felt awkward for a second, but awkward moments happen to everyone.
That single change removes the shame and just names the moment honestly. Fifth sentence. I can't think of anything spontaneous or clever to say in the moment.
Rewrite. I don't need anything spontaneous. A simple comment and question work just fine.
That feels achievable, not like an impossible performance. Sixth sentence. I never know how to end a conversation without it feeling rude or sudden.
Rewrite. I try to end things gracefully with something warm, like wishing them a good day.
That word gracefully is doing a lot of work there. It turns an exit into a small kindness.
Notice something about all 6 of these rewrites.
They're not claiming perfect confidence anywhere.
Exactly. Not one of them says, I'm amazing at small talk now, or I never feel awkward.
They just replace freezing with a small, doable move.
That's really the whole heart of today's episode, isn't it?
It is. You don't need to be interesting, charming, or naturally chatty.
You need one neutral comment, one small question bounced back, and a graceful way to close it out.
And most of all, permission to let a moment feel awkward sometimes without deciding it means you failed.
Because the version of you that bounces one small question is already miles ahead of the version of you counting floor numbers in silence.
Say that one more time, slowly, for anyone who needs it today.
One small bounce beats 11 floors of silence. Every single time.
Keep that sentence with you this week, especially the next time an elevator door closes and it's just you and a stranger.
So let's bring today's lesson home. Small talk isn't about being interesting. It's about keeping a simple ball bouncing gently between you and someone else.
Neutral comment, small question back, brief response, bounce again, then a graceful exit.
That's the whole bounce back method.
Here's your challenge this week. Next time you're in an elevator, a line, or with a cashier, try one full bounce, not just one comment.
Then come back and tell us in the comments what happened. Did the exchange keep going?
Write it below, even if it still felt a little awkward.
And if this episode helped you feel calmer about everyday conversations, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one.
Thank you for spending this time with us today.
Keep practicing. Keep bouncing. One small exchange at a time.
Bye for now.